especially during this difficult time, very challenging for everyone. You know, their work juggling, there's kids going back to school. Some are like the virus, and then their distance from their relatives, because some of us, we were immigrants, right? So during this challenging time, and always the blue, blue. So I would like to have Claudia here. Do you have any suggestions to help us to stay or keep healthy, as like mentally and physically as possible?
Well, that's a very big question. And there is a lot of details involved, although this could be way more simple than you can possibly imagine. Number one that I want to mention to you is the same question that I had in this video that I had with Carol is, how badly do you want that positive change in your life? For a long time, people sometimes tend to struggle with, okay, I wish I could be that. I wish I could feel such way, or I can do such thing. How can I expand who I am? And I find during my 18 years as a therapist that if you really, really want that change, you may be lacking at some point, of course, the elements of how to get to the change. And that's what I want to introduce you to today. If you really, really want that change, the number one thing is purpose. I set your goal, set your mind into what you want to feel, what you want to become, what you want to reach. Once you have that set here in your mind, the rest will follow. Any decision that you will make will align with your purpose. So having that, I just want to mention to you actually something very, very unique is, according to the Canadian Mental Health Organization, when we define what good mental health looks like, and you can actually see this online, number one is a sense of purpose. A lot of people sometimes ask me, Claudia, yeah, but I don't know what I want. I don't know exactly how I want to feel. I feel confused. I feel lost. Sure enough, we are human beings. We are subject to go through fear, through confusion, through so many things. But there is this spectrum of well-being for each one of us. And we are meant to, as humans, to react and move. But the skills that we develop once we have that purpose, that change, that purpose of what we want to become, and we keep in mind that moving through the spectrum of well-being is expected, then we work towards improving who we are, getting the tools that we need towards change. Now, something very important I want to mention, we are mind and body. When I work with my clients, I always want to acknowledge both. I can't say, please come in, welcome. Well, before COVID, of course, welcome, come in. Your mind can come here and your body can wait outside. No, unfortunately, that's not the way it works. So once we have that goal, I want to hypothetically, let's say, I've been feeling depressed. So what would be the opposite? If you have issues thinking, okay, but what do I really want? Think about what is the most, the opposite extreme, the opposite positive extreme of how you're feeling. Let's say, how would I look like? How would I feel if I'm in the opposite extreme? Once you connect to that, you're making your own chemistry. You're thinking, okay, I think I will be more social. Maybe I will connect more with friends. So here you have the goal. And second, starting to see how that change would look on you. The third thing is we can't forget, as I was just mentioning, that we are mind and body. So you work with both of them. Just like you take care of the mind with visualizations, with keeping in mind that goal, that purpose that you have, you also take care of the body. Proper nutrition. As a matter of fact, I love the new area of counseling and psychology, which is actually called nutritional psychology or nutritional counseling, where you actually consider that everything you eat, including um, nutrition directed to minerals, to vitamins. Everything influences how you're feeling. You're taking care of your body, you're taking care of the mind. With proper hydration, you're taking care of the body and how your mind is going to be more awake. A key issue to consider, something as simple as breathing techniques. You know, breathing, thinking that as you inhale, your rib cage expands, and as you exhale, slowly comes back to center. You know, proper breathing a few times, 5 minutes, first time in the morning, 5 minutes before you go to sleep, and as needed during the day. So when I say also take care of the body as you take care of the mind, it's like if you have the latest Ferrari parked outside, but you haven't taken the oil, the tires, you haven't put gas, how do you expect that that amazing Ferrari is going to move? So I know that my examples sometimes are a little bit silly, but as I said, if you think about your body, proper nutrition, proper hydration, proper food, and from the perspective of your mind, feeding your mind with those thoughts, with that power, where you want to be, what you want to become, what you want to accomplish. The combination of those two are just going to move you smoothly. Every single decision that you will make will align with your goal. And of course, now that you were talking about the blues, when you talk about the blues, I just think colors. I don't want to associate, you know, blue with feeling sad. Such a wonderful color. Again, prevention. If we're thinking ahead of time, if we're thinking, okay, the weather may be getting cold. Let's say, Carol, you and I go for a walk, right?
Yeah.
Like around this time, when we start, before we take our walk, we may look, it looks that it could rain maybe, or it's a little bit chilly. So what would be the logical? We will actually get maybe the umbrella, maybe a coat or something. So with everything you do in life is the same. You are ahead of the game. Ahead of the game. And if we know that, you know, highly likely this will be a season in which our immunity may be, you know, a little bit of a challenge. Of course, what do we take care of? You know, proper food, again, nutrition, vitamins. And when it comes to our bodies, moving our bodies, I actually am a yoga instructor as well, because the communication between mind and body is permanently happening. You may have heard about the Superman or Supergirl in this case pose before giving a speech, right? So of course, when you are in synchronicity with your body, if you want to feel more powerful, you're not going to have a body language that is kind of like down, right? You want to have your body according to, with, you know, in alignment with your thoughts. So yeah, all these little things are very, very powerful. So prevention, being ahead of the game. So Carol, yes. I would like to know your thoughts about, you know, I'm a Latina, sorry, I'm talking all the time. So sorry if I'm not letting you talk.
It's great, you know, similar to Chinese or old saying too, but, you know, transported to modern words. For example, you're talking about Ferrari. Right now, even though for a Tesla car, you still need to charge before you get on the road, right? Right, mm-hmm. Yeah. So something I think it's in our hand, we can do for ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm. And I would like to add something to what you said. Actually, when you and I go right before we go for a walk, if we think that it may rain, are we scared of the rain?
I have my waterproof jacket. Usually I would take
it with me.
If it's not raining, we're holding in my hand, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right? I would like to touch a little bit the topic about fear, which is one of the things that interfere with many of the things that we want to feel, we want to reach, we want to become. So, and I just want to read something to you that I find just fascinating regarding the fact that love is what we are born with and fear is what we learn. And fear is usually the factor that, as I said, stops us from everything else. So if it's gonna rain, should I be afraid of going for a walk because I'm gonna get wet? I don't think so. Instead, I will, okay, maybe I'm gonna bring an umbrella. Maybe I'm gonna bring my coat, and everything in life. In regards to the fear factor, your thoughts, you may have heard this from scientists, very well-known scientists in these times. Everything that you think, your perception of the environment, everything creates certain chemistry in your brain. So unfortunately, we could, and this is gonna sound a little bit funny, we use these powers so well. Sometimes a client, just to give you an example, and considering the current times, COVID, I had this client that told me, oh, Claudia, yesterday I may have been in contact or somehow close to people that may have COVID or may not. So all her thoughts were going around, maybe COVID and all these people dying and everything. And the next morning she said, I woke up and I felt this pain in my lungs. So what did I say? Congratulations. Congratulations. You have an amazing mind. So of course she was stunned, like what's happening here? I said, that's exactly how I want you to use the power of your mind. But we're gonna change the data. We're gonna say, my immunity is fantastic because I'm taking such good care of my mind, my body. I'm being wise. Notice this detail, wise, not afraid. I'm taking wise actions like wearing a mask when needed, washing my hands, having my vitamin C, vitamin D, you know more about that, Carol, etc. And I'm being wise, therefore I'm okay. What happens when you bring the fear all the way up? Number one, it doesn't let you see in order to make proper decisions. You're completely surrounded by the sensation of fear of an hypothetical, when it's about a possible future, and a past that technically doesn't exist, because you cannot let your past define who you are today or define what your future is. Your past doesn't become your fate. So taking wise actions should be enough for you to feel completely fine, free of fear.
It is. So when a baby was born, they don't feel any fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, more experience, they bring them they learn it. But if we can conquer it, but we still need some more strategy or suggestions, because lots of us, we stay in the comfort zone for a very long time. Tiny change is scared.
Mm-hmm. I'm very glad that you brought this example about the baby. And here is how you can realize that you could be certainly your best friend or your worst enemy.
Yeah.
Imagine you're a baby, of course. So all these thoughts and this judgment about ourselves is not present. So we become masters in the art of walking, in the art of running. Can you imagine? Okay, back to those times that we're not even crawling yet. And if we would have better understanding, and we see this other toddler walking by, and I'm like, oh, wow. I don't think I will never be able to do that. Wherever I want to go, I have to be carried. That's not going to happen. So can't you imagine? I mean, which support we will give to ourselves? Or if the first time that we are trying to stand up and we fall, we go, oh, here I am again. I have fallen 20 times today, just trying to stand up. If we will have that judgment, sorry, but we will never walk. So that's the best example of how we can be our best friends. The only thing that baby had in mind is like, I'm gonna walk. But actually the first was, I wanna get there. And it started to crawl somehow. I wanna get there. The second one, oh, I want to stand up. So I will explore my environment and I will use to my advantage everything in order to get where? To where my mind is set. Once I conquer the standing up, now I'm going to walk, and so on until the day we run. So remember, at that point, we are our best friends. We're not self-judging. We're not thinking about failures. We're not thinking about anything else than we have this target in our minds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This it just like once we know with the first step, get out, get up, and then more bright side, more views we can see in our life, right? We can go
Mm-hmm.
to any directions. They are just under our feet.
Now, I also want to mention just a few days ago, some of you may be familiar of some of amazing scientists, biologists, that doctors and nowadays are actually talking a lot about something that used to be almost considered a myth about the power of your mind and an area such as psychoimmunology and the power that our thoughts and our perception of the environment have in how we feel is amazing. I want to be very clear that when it comes to well-being or psychiatry, I am not against medication because, of course, there are situations in which, of course, is needed. However, you will be surprised how something as simple as being, very persistent in practicing some breathing techniques, some visualizations, when you have the target of what you want to feel, you want to become, people over and over come back to me, my clients, saying, I can't believe how I feel. I feel fantastic. I get energy. I sleep better. I can eat better and make better choices. And that is happening without an external, without an appeal, without So it's fascinating what you guys can do. And as long as you have that belief in what you can become. Carol, you have to unmute yourself, I think.
Sorry. It's just like a mindset, right? A mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Like a believe yourself
Mm-hmm.
and give yourself a chance. And then there's something new will happen and something good will happen to us. I would just say,
oh, sorry, Carol.
yeah, it's amazing, there is lots of directions we can go, but sometimes we worry to which direction it will be the most fastest way. What do you think?
Yeah, no, again, it's a matter of deciding, first of all, having that purpose. What do I want to become? And I have used this people may think, oh yeah, but that is very simple. I have had clients with all sort of conditions, from anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression that may have been carried for years and years. So usually when they come to meet me, sort of their last resource, Claudia, I have done everything. I know that I may not be able to change. I'm like, wait a second, why are you saying already that? Well, based on my past experiences. Okay. So the past experience, as I said, is the past. I have amazing testimonials in my website. And the reason why I'm bringing this is not because I want to say how cool I am, not at all. It's all the opposite. Is because I want everybody to see how awesome you can be. Now, as I mentioned, having this goal in your mind. Second thing, taking care of your body as much as you will be taking care of your mind. Nutrition, light exercise to bring the oxygen all over. Now, I am not a nutritionist, of course, but as I said, I like seeing humans, seeing people in all the different aspects. We're not just, the brain. We have emotions. We have so many things that interact on a regular basis. Now, when we have been caring for a long time a way of seeing life, or we have developed a specific way to see life because of an event that happened in the past. We're literally allowing that event that may have happened a week ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, define our being, define the way that we interact with life, that we interact with the world, and often limiting what we could do, what we could become. So having all these things in mind, if somebody were to ask me, Claudia, what are the steps? The first steps towards change. First step will be, as I mentioned earlier, defining what do I want? Easier, as I said, if you're not very clear, how will the positive opposite of what I'm feeling right now would be? Once you have that in mind, revisit that with your mind over and over and over in every detail. Sometimes people may not understand in depth the power of visualization, but just to give you a very simple example, if you check brain activity in somebody who is actually, let's say, listening to a given song versus the same person being tracked again, brain activity when it's imagining, and this is a real experiment, while imagining what is that is listening to hear his or her favorite tune, the brain activity is actually exactly the same. Now, we don't even need to exactly read about this experiment because it's as simple as asking you, when you could have been in the comfort of your home, the perfect blanket, your perfect pillow, very comfy, you go to bed, and suddenly you wake up crying or with your heart popping up of your chest because, and I always use this example about the bear because in my country there is pretty much no wildlife, so a bear comes very handy. This bear that was, running behind me when I went for a hike. Of course, I'm going to wake up, but the reality is that I would ask you, what is reality? The reality is that you were experiencing at that given moment. Your brain, your body, your entire being was connected to the reality that this bear was following you, not to the fact that you were in the comfort of your home. So why I'm giving you this example, so you can feel how powerful visualization, when you connect, again, this image of how would I look, how would I interact with the world if I were to feel, let's say, happier, if I am content with my life, if I am, and you start working every detail of it, connecting to that, not just in a visual level, but emotionally. So now, how can we help with emotions? As I said, or how can we help this overall sense of well-being? I usually also ask my clients, when was the last time you visit your family doctor? Why? Because it could be something as simple as somebody telling me, Claudia, I feel so down, like I have no energy, like I don't even enjoy the things that I used to. And happens, for example, that the person may have low iron, as simple as low iron levels. But the mind was working into, I may be depressed, there is something happening. Depression runs in my family. That's another topic, very interesting. The fear of our genetic heritage. Mm-hmm. There's amazing scientists that do not fear, because there is something that is called epigenetics, how you can influence that they give the expression of a given gene. So I may have a lot of people with diabetes in my family, but if I keep a healthy lifestyle and not too much sugar or certain activity, physical activity, I will not get diabetes. So, but as I said, sometimes people may think that they have issues with anger issues, and it happens that they may have imbalances in their sugar levels. So that's why I never take for granted I never separate the mind and the body, because these two things connect in such a way. And then we have these thoughts that are usually not the best ones. So we also jump into either Googling all the ways that we could die, all the illnesses that we could have, right? But we never go to the opposite. So anyways, that's something that is worth exploring the quality of your thoughts.
Yeah, this is like a really, really think about you said rewise your words, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you feel the fear, the anxiety, but what's the
Mm-hmm.
opposite word you can use to say it? Like when I was little, I really afraid of crossing bridges. Even though a concrete steel bridge, I'm worried it will crash. But then I told myself, the bridge is good, very strong. I can walk through. I can walk through. And it just like over 30 years, the bridge is still there, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
So that's fantastic. What you
it
did is
is.
fantastic, because we have to revisit actually the reality of these fears that we have is usually an hypothetical. Now, of course, it's good to be wise in terms, let's say, for example, if somebody say, okay, I want to have a savings account just in case something unexpected happens.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it's probably a wise decision, but differently will be to live in fear every day because something bad or unexpected could be happening. So
Yeah.
that is completely different. I don't know if you see the difference. One is just being wise. Okay, I think it would be a good idea to have a savings account, versus the other one in fear every day that something unexpected could happen. So I will much rather be wise and enjoy my life as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and also just now you were talking about the MP genetic. So
Oh,
for me,
epigenetics.
epigenetics, right? For me, I have so many family histories running our families.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you mentioned you can change your diet, anything, lifestyle changes, right? Which is,
Mm-hmm.
we can see, and those are degenerated disease actually are really related to your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. So that's very, very unique actually, because I'm taking these words from scientists, specialists in this field, and as I understand, there are apparently 7 sort of health conditions or illness that you will have, like yes or yes, if you got the gene. The rest, it could happen or it could not happen, depending of, in this case, epigenetics, right?
Mm.
What could activate or not activate ever the expression of a given gene. So let's say, coming back to um, diabetes. Okay, runs in my family. That right away put me in the spot of, I'm powerless. This runs in my family. I'm destined to develop diabetes. Doesn't matter what I do. So which motivation, which kind of self-confidence could I possibly have, if I think that that's it, my genes say that I will get diabetes? But hey, you know what? If you have a lifestyle and certain foods that you will avoid, and enjoying life and being wise of what you're eating, what you can go through life without ever developing diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
So we can definitely prove that that gene didn't get activated. Why? Because of what we did. We influenced the expression of that gene. So certainly it gives you the power that you need to know in order to conquer that,
Yeah.
predisposition. Yeah.
Yeah, in this case, I also know there is a cellular nutrition, which is very good for everyone. And this cellular nutrition is from a company it's called USANA. And so, so far we were, after Claudia was talking. So if anybody has any questions, please welcome to jot down in the Q&A. So write in the chat box, and then we also will have a Q&A time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and then for your past experience, and then with the consultant, the power, the technique you give to your clients, is there any you think the lifestyle or the nutritions will be benefit to be keep you in a healthier way for mentally and physically?
I will say that the basic ones for sure, as I mentioned before, is setting your mind in your goal, having a healthy lifestyle in terms of what you eat, in terms of light exercise, reviewing the quality of your thoughts, how you perceive your environment. Sometimes we have something that is called underlying beliefs, right? Let's say that at a given age, I got the impression that people don't like me, right? So I forgot when I learned that. It could have been even a joke from a friend, you know, and it became a belief that I carry through life. And this happened way more often than you can possibly imagine. This could be because of a family environment, because of a traumatic situation, doesn't matter from where it comes, but we carry this with us. So if I'm in that mindset, nobody likes me. Wherever I go, whoever I meet, a job that I will approach, everything will be defined the way I feel by this belief. Nobody likes me. Now, when we have a perception of the environment that feels unfriendly, we put it that way, our mind and our bodies will go into attack mode. Our cortisol levels will rise. We will feel tense. We will feel stressed. So I have nothing against cortisol, by the way. Cortisol is known as a stress hormone, but to be honest, we want to have them in nice levels because cortisol is what takes you out of bed in the morning. So nothing wrong with cortisol as long as we keep it within certain balance. So coming back to that, being aware when we look at the past, do we look at the past to learn from something that it may not have been the best choice? Most people will go, how could I have done that? If I would have done this, or if, like, my question would be, do you have a time machine? Because if you do, can I borrow it? But the answer is usually no, I don't. So these thoughts that you're having over and over and over about, if I would have done this, if I would have said, and it's torture, because you are going over and over about something that cannot be changed from the past. So this will be permanently haunting you. Your body will be in permanent stress. So what you can do starts now, from now to the future. We look at the past to learn. That's what we're doing. We're learning. Okay, I walked through the street and there was this huge dog that came out barking and almost bit me. Okay, next time I will take a different road. But I won't go, how could I have taken that road? No, that's it, gone. Now you're learning, your action starts from now towards the future. Now, if you want to jump towards the future, my suggestion will be present the best. Because if we have two choices here, the future has not happened. So we have two choices. Or we jump into a super nice scenario, which could just bring nice chemistry to our body, right? Or we go into the worst case scenario all the time. How is that priming me to interact with the future? What's happening in my body, my mind, my stress level? So I much rather think, oh, what if I win the lottery? I think that is much more appealing and it's much healthier to my mind and to my body. So as I said, most people already use this formula, the what if. I just suggest change the data. What if this deal goes very well? What if, but within a positive context. And as I said, I am not considering the being wise, as I was saying. What if I have a savings account in case something happens? Awesome. Then you can be relaxed. You have something in case, but don't live in fear every day because something unexpected could happen. Yes, it could. It could. We have COVID, right? Who thought about that? Nobody. We're living life in a completely different way. But we have two choices. Again, we actually go through it in the most difficult way, in fear every day that I could get COVID, or I'm wise. I take all the proper actions, and then I work towards keeping my cortisol levels in harmony so I don't affect my immunity. If my cortisol levels are high permanently, certainly I will have my immunity compromised.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, you're right. And then let me think about like Dennis Whitney, one of the very famous world famous mentor. Is he said, you know, the past is like a cashed check,
mhm.
right? And the now is the cash. And the future is what your revenue you're going to earn. And
Mhm.
how we present performance right now represents what we're going to have the life in the future. So we are we are should live at this moment, not just live for now. I believe, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And Carol, often also I understand this is not common knowledge, but often the topic regarding to how our emotions, how our mindset affects our immunity is not taken seriously. And I like talking to people, providing information, teaching skills that they can use in life. One of the things that I was amazed when I discovered a woman whose name is Candace Pert, um, PhD in pharmacology. She was an amazing researcher, and she actually was in the group that won a Nobel Prize because of the discovery of a given protein that was used in the treatment of HIV. And through her research, she discovered the power of psychoimmunology. So there is parts of her book. Her book is called Molecules of Emotion. And this was at least 20 years ago when she wrote this book, in which she literally says, if you set your mind, let's say, for example, in a given limb, let's say that you broke your arm and you are in a state of breathing and meditation and concentrating in your left arm and thinking that you're bringing more healing, more blood flow. This actually happens. This is science. Nowadays, this cannot even be considered paranormal or could be or foo-foo. No, this is science. That's why I'm so excited with science these days, because it's proven. Science is proving that it's not that these things don't happen, it's that science didn't have the proper tools to study these phenomena. But yes, the power of your mind, once you know how to use it to your advantage, is completely proven by science. So use it,
Yes,
don't lose it.
you're right. Yeah. So just like I say, you know, as you said, our lives has to be wise instead
Mm-hmm.
of fear.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would just say, you know, I have some slides to share with everyone. Just going back. And we all have, like as we mentioned, our immune system is also break down like getting lower imbalanced with our anxiety, like emotionally, because every time when you're intense, our vein is getting tight, the blood flow is getting slower, right? Stuck in there and getting less oxygen, less nutrition, which is then cause more problem. And rather than in a peaceful happiness, staying healthy life. So for the seeds of life, remember every time when we're going for a walk, we discussed it. The
Oh yeah.
basic is the sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we can happily go to sleep and have a quality sleep during the night, and which also there's a lots of hormones and chemical reactions happening, and our body is repairing during the night. So some people will sleep during the day here and there, but actually even the Chinese medicine would recommend our sleeping life cycle should be during the night. So we have quality, adequate enough sleep is very important to be functioned. And then as you mentioned that the seeds, S-E-E-D-S, the first E stands for emotion. If we can stay in a happy, relaxed, positive way and less fearness, and then our life quality will get better. Is it true, right?
It's totally true, completely.
Yeah, for the exercise, and everyone needs some exercise, especially right now, even though during this quarantine time, we've been sitting a lot, even though our kids. But then we also know when we're sitting too long without exercise, our circulation is getting poor and all the fat stuck in our tummy, and then later on obesities, lots of problems. So, but exercise need to be moderate, which is you can be capable to do it. You can be just the right amount, not over excess, because once you exceeded your capability, and then it also causes free radical, which is cause your cell antioxidant and getting the sickness later. So moderate exercise everyone should keep, maybe half an hour walk or doing jumping or dancing. And I also know singing is a very great exercise for your lung, for your cells too. So choose
singing in the shower, for example, right?
Yes, with the passion goes on, right? And which also I feel like, you know, even though my kids, I know when they singing in the shower, they release a lot of, you know, the anxiety, it's emotional, like getting out of the body drained, right? So, and bring you self-conscious and self-confident during that time. And right now the diet is very challenging, and because you know pick up food and fast food is so convenient, and we are always like if we don't want to cook, order pizza or order sushi. But my kids comment, you know, eating at home is the most healthiest way. Cooking by ourselves, you can with a balanced nutritious diet. So more veggies, you get minerals and like vitamins, right?
Yeah, Carol, that's an excellent point because as I mentioned before, there's all this new area that is called nutritional psychology. This great information, great research coming out. So we are definitely taking the food factor for granted. We forget that these are chemicals. This is which chemicals, which chemistry do we want to hold in our bodies? So it's just beyond the pleasure of eating, but it's also strongly related to our health.
You're right.
Not only physical, but mental health as well.
They're very important mentally. So, but they are related, as you said. You feed your body, also feed your mind. And so just like this little picture says, the seeds is in our hands, and which is seeds of life, which is we can control. And then whenever the outside, their situation, their environment it is, but the seeds we can provide for our body. And the other one is because right now, the environment, the nutrition from the food is very depleted, and also implement some high quality supplements, which is will be benefit for our body and the minds. And here I would just say there is a scientist, and his name is called Dr. Meron Wentz. And he founded a company, is called USANA Health Scientists in 1992, which is a cellular nutrition company based in Utah. And Dr. Meron Wentz used to have a laboratory, and which is use it to diagnose viruses, But in order to diagnose, he cultured, and which is the human cells to a very healthy condition. But later on, he found it out, even though he himself got sick and his family member was died from the degenerated disease and cancer, he found, you know, waiting to diagnose is very late. Just like when we have symptoms for a while, and then we go to see the doctor, get diagnosed, sometimes it's too late. But however, if we can change our lifestyle, we can change our diet and sleep well, eat well, exercise, having happiness, and then to maintain those life, maintain ourselves healthy, will prevent the future. And then Dr. Marion Wentz, because he has a very outstanding human achievement in the life science, he also won Albert Einstein Reward in 2007. And right now, USANA Health Sciences has been over 28 years. So this is the man's vision, but I really believe it because since my mom passed away and she was suffering a lot of pain. So this is Dr. Marion Wentz's vision is, I dream of a world free from pain and suffering. And I dream of a world free from disease. The USANA family will be the healthiest family on earth, and share my vision, live, love life, and live it to its fulfills in happiness and health. So we want our family and the members, we can, like with grandpa, with grandma, you know, happiness together in a healthy way. And because it's being very with their own on-site over 84 scientists, it's very high quality science-based products, and with a lot of second, third party certificates. So USANA has the patency, Dr. Marion's patency guarantee, which is guarantee in their inside the bottle and outside the label will be the same with the pharmaceutical degree, which is very completed. It's high bioavailable and the balanced formula. It's very safe. And this is why right now in the world, over 44,500 elite champion athletes, they choose USANA's products, and also with over 20 sports team, because USANA gave them over $100 million guarantee. But right now, so far, there's not even a penny being released. This is the USANA's difference. And then we know, like I visited Dr. Oz, and Dr. Oz and Dr. Wentz are friends. They are truly believe, you know, the high quality supplements plus our healthy lifestyles will bring up and keep us the life quality and stay healthy. But also this is in order to choose which of the products you will use, and this is from the NutriSearch, which is since 1999, the first edition, USANA has been voted 5-star #1, and this is how you tell. And also because it's safe, it's the bioavailability is high, and it's being trusted by the doctors in the US and in Canada, and also by the consumer. So as you said, the whole body is functioning, and then we are going to the genes and the cellular level, which is it's called intelligence technology, and it can nourish, protect, and renew our cells. And also it can be patented this year. And so and really brings you are totally different. You not only get the nutrients you need, the minerals, the antioxidants, and but also it helps protect our cells, protect our mitochondria, and regenerate, renew our cells, which is can help us getting younger. So this is the 10 benefits of the Cell Essential, which is I really liked it to keep me, I feel, you know, every day, even though I take it before bed, and then during the night, I feel like it's boosting my whole body. And I woke up, wow, it's a totally new life. So like here, it's also help with the mood, right? You see it? Because it has the whole brand of the vitamin B from A, B, a C, a D, E, and lots of zinc, calcium, magnesium, lots of things, good things, and you can find it. And the other one is I would like to, and as you said, because the weather is getting cold and in Vancouver or around the world when it's winter time, people get depression just like I did before. And the doctor told me, you know what, I should be on some of the vitamin D. And then the vitamin D, the scientists also call it happy vitamin, happy vitamin. So the nutritionists will recommend in Canada, the recommended is like every adult should take at least 2,000 IU a day. So this is the one to make you stronger immune system, make you happier, and then it's really important for vitamin D. And then since 2004, the Canada has a research has showed over 40 people was deficient with vitamin D. And I overheard your story, actually your husband's story, remember?
Yeah, no, that's one of the reasons, Carol, why I always send people, especially if they haven't seen their family doctors in some time, to actually check how things are going. Because as I said,
yes,
we are mind and we are body, so take care of your body as well. So, Carol, I think we have a few minutes left, and
yes.
I see some very interesting questions here.
Okay, yeah, let's see.
So. Let me see. One of them says, for some irreversible diseases, is meditation a good way to keep yourself positive? Actually, more than being, maybe I can get back on the screen, Carol.
Okay,
so
sure.
I can give the proper explanation. So one of the exercises that I use with my clients regarding the mind is actually, I want to get rid of the word being positive. And you're going to think, what? How come Claudia is saying let's get rid of being positive, instead feeling positive? In any stage that you are, more than thinking about being positive, it's about triggering a feeling which is a healthier, happier, more stable feeling. And why I'm saying this about how come Claudia's not saying that we have to be positive. No. Let's say hypothetically, we have these sticky notes. We open our wallet and says, you're awesome. I always give this example to my clients and they always laugh because they say, sure, I'm going to open the wallet. But if I don't feel awesome, I'm going to think, yeah, right. And then that will turn into a lot of pressure because what is wrong with me? I keep reading these notes about you're awesome, but I don't feel awesome. There must be something wrong with me. No, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. If we haven't been able to experience for some time a positive feeling, the sticky note is going to make absolutely no sense. So coming back to the question about when somebody has an irreversible disease or condition, meditation, is it good? Meditation, visualization, breathing, bringing those moments, of course, is going to be positive, because the opposite would be having your cortisol levels. I could be even more detrimental to your health. Bringing the positive thoughts, the positive feelings, And it's a feelings actually more than the thought. It's a combination. The emotion is the glue to the experience. So yes, it will be beneficial in any state that you are to bring positive emotions. And if you don't mind, Carol, I just want to take a look at the other question. Why some successful people who have happy lives and careers could experience depression? Is it true that depression is mostly caused by an imbalance of hormones of chemistry as you age? No, we do know all happy people. And the successful people that we are talking about is like, this is what we see. This is the product of what we see. We see success because we equal the amount of money in success, a success. But what do we know about how that person feels? Which kind of trauma, which kind of emotions, which kind of underlying beliefs that person may carry through life? We have no idea. So what we may consider successful may be successful in other areas, not necessarily emotionally. So another question that I see here, in recent years, I got to know more and more young people, even teenagers, suffering anxiety and depression. Yes, that's a very, very good one. I actually read an article that I posted in my Facebook page a few months ago that year after year, younger kids are getting into medication for anxiety and depression. Why? Because we jump into this lifestyle in which it's much easier to take the pill than teaching people how to interact with life. We are not teaching our youngsters skills to interact with life. Life will continue to present in so many different ways. There will be somebody that will die. There will be some new baby born, good things, happy moments, nostalgic moments. Life will bring everything. However, the better equipped I am, the better I will be able to manage what life is presenting to me. So yes, it's true, younger and younger people are showing this, but because we are not teaching them the skills they need. We are teaching them to depend on a medication. So yeah, food for thought. One
Yeah.
little hint, by the way, Carol, before I forget, we will be together again in a few weeks, right?
Yes.
And
And then we were
something that I
talking.
want to mention, very short. Did you know that at least 80% of your serotonin, which is considered the feeling good hormone, is processed in your stomach, in your gut? If you didn't know, if you thought that it was all up here in the brain, you're going to be surprised with what we're going to be talking about on September 22nd, Carol?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we will continue to provide tips on how to optimize your life. So,
Yes.
Carol?
Yeah, and then I have the last slice, and which is I post to your information. And if anyone would like to contact you, you know, today we have over 30 participant audience, and they come and join us the live webinar. And then thank you for you being here, and thank you, Claudia, for all your amazing tips. And I always say, you know, being wise instead of being fear, right? And revise your words, how you're going to define yourself in the future. And so there make a really clear goal. I learned from you today. I think I'm going to jot down my goal, and then I will keep working on that. So I would say this is everything we do is trying to help you love life and live it. And then our article today is like let your inner sunshine arise up. I really, like you said, before the leaves fall. So everyone, you can take the step
We can
today.
be ahead of the game.
Yes. And so if you would like to find more information about Claudia's professionally suggestion or tips, you're welcome to go on her website, or if you have any more questions, and you're also welcome to find me on the Facebook. We're both on the Facebook, right? And then they can find more amazing informations. And later on, we're going to post it on the information on the Facebook. And yeah. So
thanks so much, Carol, for the opportunity. I really love having these conversations. It's like an extension of that walks that we have, right? Which we are fixing the world together.
Did you see my last page or no? It was,
Yeah,
did it
yeah.
show? No, I'm sorry. Let me just post it again. Oh, I closed it. So I would just say, you know, I will type it here so everyone can get it, okay? So it's www Claudia and Dagnino.com. And then you can find a lot of tips, and then you will see how amazing their testimony, which is, she said, if you are not like that, but you can become a better or the best of you.
A better version of yourself. It's like updating the app, just like we update apps, you know, in our phones. We can update ourselves. It's not about this competition towards anybody. It's about becoming a better version of myself.
It is. It is. And also, if you have any more questions about supplements, nutrition supplements of USANA, you can ask the person, refer you to the meetings today. All right. And thank you for your time, Claudia. And thank you all the audience. And then we see you next Tuesday. All right.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.